Yo, what's going on? What is going on? Welcome to the live stream. I am your host, Edward Williams, founder and creator of Health by Any Means Necessary. And what I want to talk about in this video is a clip that was sent to me. And thank you all for sending me clips and news articles and everything for me to look over. I appreciate it. Keep sending them to me. And my job here is not to tell anyone what to do. Okay. All I'm doing is presenting my perspective, and I'm asking questions, which I feel that that is a very valuable thing for us to do during these times because um, questions not being asked and us just doing things without thinking is going to cause us a lot of issues in the future. So this clip that I'm about to play is apparently from a news commentator, news host. His name is Don Lemon. I believe he is from CNN, I believe. And I just want to give my opinion about the things that he's saying because apparently there is a threshold where shaming is acceptable, which I thought, that was kind of frowned upon. Um, but apparently, according to these folks, there is a level. And for those who are not vaccinated at this point, shaming right now is appropriate for you all. So let's hear what Mr. Lemon has to say about this. All right, so let me play this video. All right, let me share my screen. So as I'm playing this, I'm going to stop and interject, and then we're going to go back and forth that way. All right. All right. So hopefully you all can see everything. So let me go ahead and get this started.
People. And so I think we have to stop coddling people when it comes to this and the vaccine, saying, oh, you can't shame them. You can't call them stupid. You can't call them silly. Yes, they are. The people who aided and abetted Trump are stupid because they believed his big lie. The people who are not getting vaccines, who are believing the lies on the internet instead of science, it's time to start shaming them. What else? Or leave them behind.
All right. So first things first, I'm not sure why he brought up the whole thing about Trump. So maybe I missed that part as far as, how that has anything to do with the conversation about vaccines, other than if he's trying to say that the majority of people who have questions about the vaccine itself are Trump supporters. And I think that is what he may be hinting at. I think a decent amount of these folks are hinting at this because, unfortunately, this whole entire thing has become political. This whole entire thing has become red versus blue. If you're pro-vaccine, you're blue. If you're anti-vaccine, or if you're vaccine hesitant, or if you just want to wait, then you must be red. You must be a Trump supporter. And that is so dangerous, very dangerous and deadly because that may not be the case. And also, I'm not sure. The only reason I can think that he would bring that up once again is because he's making it political, but also to increase people's people riled up, to get you emotional because of course if he's speaking on CNN, then he's going to rile up his base if he's saying something about Trump, get people emotional, which is going to get them in agreement, and then he's going to turn around right after that and say what he says about the vaccine or the unvaccinated people. But other than that, I'm not sure why he's bringing Trump into that. Also, what should be known is that as far as the populations that are vaccine hesitant, African Americans are largely vaccine hesitant. We have a pretty high rate as far as being unvaccinated in this country, and you can't say that a large amount of African Americans voted Republican or voted Trump. We know that's not true. So him bringing in that, I'm not really sure if how that's relevant, other than you're just making this a red versus blue thing, which is once again dangerous. So let's see what else he has to say about
it. Because they are keeping the majority of Americans behind.
All right, real quick. I don't understand what he means by keeping Americans behind. So let's make sure we understand that at this current moment, today is the 18th of September. We are roughly at least 76% of the adult population in this country are vaccinated, which leaves 24% unvaccinated. That's where we're at today. Could be a little bit more. And so when they talk about keeping the country back, I would really like more context because I don't understand that part. Because based on what Fauci was saying and what Biden was saying, at first it was we got to get the country up to 60% vaccinated, and then they moved the goalpost 70%. And now where's the goalpost at? Are we trying to get to 100? Because uh, you should just say that, because causing this confusion, like they're acting like so many people online are spreading misinformation and causing confusion, when it can be argued that you all are causing the majority of the confusion because you're this double talk. And we're going to talk about the double talk later in this video with something that he says again. But where are we trying to get? Because to say that we're leaving the country behind, it almost seems like you are saying that we're like 30% vaccinated. And it's been almost 18 months and we're only at 30%. We're not. We're more than 76% vaccinated as far as the adult population. So that doesn't make sense to me. And I definitely would like, and once again, when I say these things don't make sense and I'm asking these questions, I genuinely want to answer. I genuinely want a response. I want to answer. I'm not just asking these questions so that I can, ask them, but I want a response because I want to have an intelligent discussion about this, because so many things are not making sense. So many things are not lining up. And we're going to continue to hear that from Mr. Lemon here as he goes on. So let's continue.
You didn't feel that way about the polio vaccine. You don't feel that way about measles. You didn't feel that way about mine. Because they are keeping the majority of Americans behind. You didn't feel that way about the polio vaccine. You don't feel that way about measles, mumps, rubella when it comes to your children. All of a sudden, this vaccine is different. What's different about it? The only different thing about it is because of your politics today.
Donnie. Can I call you Donnie? All right. So surely he must know that this vaccine is absolutely different. It's different. I'm not sure why he's saying that it's not different. So what we need to talk about, he brings up the traditional vaccines, measles, mumps, rubella. He talks about polio. Those are traditional vaccines. I mean, one of the first major differences is that these vaccines took years to come to the market. Took years. They went through the normal trial testing, FDA approval route. The traditional vaccines went through that. They had the trials. They've been tested. We know how those things work. We see the rates. We understand those vaccines. So that is a pretty big difference. That it's disingenuous for you to gloss over that as if we don't know that. Like, we know that this vaccine is the fastest vaccine to just come to market. First it was EUA, and now it's the Pfizer vaccine is approved, and we know that this was incredibly fast. Which, okay, but to act like that's not different and that's the same, I always ask the question, is you being slick or stupid? And I don't know, Mr. Lemon, but I don't know if he's being disingenuous, or I don't know if he doesn't know that this vaccine was at a very short period as far as being tested, and also as far as getting to approval. But you bring up polio, measles, rubella, mumps. Come on. Those vaccines took years to be developed, and it took some time to be approved by the FDA. So that's a pretty big difference. Next, once again, he says, what's the difference? It's a huge difference as far as traditional vaccines versus this new technology called RNA vaccine. Huge difference. And you know, there's still argument if you can actually call this new technology, the RNA vaccine, actually vaccine. That's not my argument, but that is out there. Um, so maybe he doesn't know. And so, for those of you who are actually curious, let me kind of explain briefly the difference between traditional vaccines, such as polio, measles, mumps, and rubella, versus the Pfizer vaccine, the RNA vaccines. So, with traditional vaccines, what they do is they take a weakened form of the virus, or an inactivated form of the virus, or they take a part of the virus, the protein of the virus, the antigen of the virus, and they inject that into the actual body. And when that takes place and is introduced into the body, uh, the immune system, specifically the T cell and the B cell, will be able to identify that foreign object, that foreign pathogen, develop an immune response, and then be able to remember that for the next time that is introduced into the body. And so once this happens one time, it'll always remember it. So it'll remember it next time it comes in contact with it. It'll know what to do as far as fighting it off. Um, and it'll always be on the lookout for it if it comes again. And so that's how the traditional vaccines work. You know, so once again, inactivated form of the virus, a weakened form of the virus, or a part of the virus, the protein, which is the antigen. However, when we talk about these new vaccines, specifically the one from Pfizer, because that's the one that's approved, uh, they don't involve that. These vaccines are different because they don't have the weakened form of the virus, they don't have the inactivated form of the virus, and they don't have the protein from the virus, the antigen from the virus. What they do is they contain what is known as a messenger RNA, mRNA, and so that mRNA is injected into the body, and once that is injected into the body, it's going to be translated into the antigen, and then the antigen is going to be displayed on the cell of the surface of the cell, and then that is going to be recognized by the immune system, and then that's when that whole process is carried out. But to say that they are not different, they are absolutely different. Now, I'm not saying that good, bad, but what I am saying is that you are incorrect in saying that they're not different. They are different. They're different as far as the time on the market. They're different as far as the FDA approval, and they're different as far as how the mechanism of action. They are different. So I don't know if you're being disingenuous. I don't know if you just don't know. But I find it odd that you're out here calling people stupid for wanting to wait, make their decision, see what happens, and then you're also at the same time, you know, spreading misinformation, saying that they're not different. They are different. Let's hear what else Donnie has to say.
The people talking about, well, I don't know what's in the shot, Chris. I don't know what's in that shot.
I'll tell you what's not in it.
Hold on,
a tracking device.
Yeah, let me finish this. You know what's you know what they get shots in
ready
nowadays?
going
In
to
their
offense.
rear ends.
It's
They're
going to
getting
offense.
shots to make it bigger. They're getting shots in their face.
Okay.
They don't know what's in Botox. They don't know what's in this stuff. Nothing wrong with Botox.
People don't know what they eat, what
Look,
they
I
drink,
tried
what
it
they
once.
smoke.
My eyebrow went up. I don't have it now. As you can see, I got all these wrinkles. Everybody asks me when I'm going to get you Botox. But listen, nothing wrong with Botox. But I'm saying, do people really know what's in stuff that they inject in their bodies all the time? And they're like,
What they
oh,
eat,
this
what
stuff
they
that
drink?
eat, what they drink, all the
Look at this little
Stop
sidekick.
it. Stop it with the ignorance. And we have to stop saying, oh, well, you know, you have to listen to people. And no, you don't. These people are being harmful.
You don't have to listen to them.
To the greater good. You don't
What?
have to listen
Hold
to
on,
them.
wait. What did he say?
No, you don't. These people are being harmful to the greater good.
Harmful to who? How? And this is the part where he confuses me, Biden confuses me, and Fauci. They all confuse me when they talk about being harmful to everyone else. This is the double talk that I'm referring to, because Biden got up on he wandered out to stage, he wandered out to the podium, and he got on there and said, you know, we have to protect the vaccinated from the unvaccinated. Fauci talks about protecting the vaccinated from the unvaccinated. This guy right now is pretty much saying that we're harming society. Whoever is not vaccinated, you're harming society. And that's that talk of protecting the vaccinated from the unvaccinated. You got to understand how you all are confusing people who are vaccinated, because you're telling them that the vaccines work, that there's a high efficacy rate, that they're going to remain safe, while also telling them that the unvaccinated are putting them in danger and putting them in harm. Which one is it? Does it work or does it not work? Because you can't say both things at the same time. If the only people that should be in harm are the unvaccinated people, the only people who should be at risk, theoretically, based on our ideas and understanding of this vaccine, the only people who should really be in harm's way are the unvaccinated, right? Or am I understanding this the wrong way? Because by Biden wandering out to the stage and saying we have to protect the vaccinated from the unvaccinated, you have make vaccinated people scratch their head and say, "Wait, we're in danger. I thought I had the vaccine. I thought it was good. I thought I was protected, but now you tell me that the unvaccinated can actually cause harm to me. Which one is it? Which one? Because you're untying your message. You're undoing your message, or someone is being disingenuous." And this is what I'm saying. Like, it's very, very confusing for a lot of people. I kind of have my real thoughts on this. But when you're making these claims about it being so dangerous and people who are unvaccinated being so harmful, please add more context. Please add more into that statement, because vaccinated people already have a lot of questions, because initially you all sold them on the idea, and once again, so one of the reasons why I started recording these videos and posting them on YouTube specifically is because we need to keep track of a lot of this stuff that's happening right now, and I want to keep track of things like this. So this guy, Mr. Don Lemon, I saw a video with Jimmy Kimmel apparently saying that it was okay to let people who are unvaccinated die if they try to come to the hospital. These things need to be well documented, because someone needs to hold their feet to the fire when this is all said and done, which I don't foresee this being a long process before we have to come back and revisit a lot of these things that these folks said. But you keep moving the goalposts, because you have these officials making people believe that if they get vaccinated, that they won't get the virus. And then you move that goalpost and you say, okay, you may get it, but you won't spread it. And then you move that goalpost and then you say, okay, you may get it and you may spread it, but you won't be hospitalized. And then you move that goalpost and say, all right, you may get it, you may spread it, you may be hospitalized, but your chances of their infection won't be as high. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Israel is seeing the complete opposite. They're seeing that their rates of hospitalizations right now are 50% plus as pertains to the vaccinated. And these are things that you can pull up and you should pull up. And I will continue to go through them, because you all need to hear the other side versus what Mr. Lemon and the other mainstream media is telling you about this whole pandemic and the virus and the vaccine. They're misleading a lot of you. A lot of us, we're being misled and misinformed. Another thing is that one of the reasons why a decent amount of people went ahead and got vaccinated is because they thought they could get back to normal life. They thought that them being vaccinated means that they'll now be able to go outside and take off their mask. They thought they'd be able to go into restaurants and hotels and stores and movie theaters without a mask. But now it's still mask. It's mask for everyone, whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. And so people are very confused because they're trying to figure out, wait a minute, if I got the vaccine, they're still not sure why they have to wear masks. They're still not sure why they have to do the social distancing, just in general public. And they're still not sure why they should be afraid of those who are unvaccinated. And so a lot of things are not lining up. It's not making sense. And then also people are seeing for themselves. So, like I said, this is eventually going to we're going to have to come back to this relatively soon because the information is just coming out so fast, and people are seeing for themselves firsthand. People that they know actually be actually have what they call quote unquote breakthrough cases. And this is where we're at right now, where people are actually seeing people who they know, um, they live with or they work with or family members who were vaccinated, fully vaccinated, 2 shots, and now having a quote unquote breakthrough case and being symptomatic. That's where we're at right now. And so people are going to start asking questions, you know, just how effective is it? Um, how long does it last? And then the final part that I want to touch on, and then I'm going to, wrap this up. But why are we pretending that natural immunity does not exist? Why are we pretending that natural immunity is not a real thing? So over in Israel, once again, watch the last video that I did. I'll post it up or I'll link it below. But a study coming out of Israel is showing that natural immunity is 10 to 25 times stronger than vaccine-induced immunity and lasts longer. So Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and once again, watch the video that I did a couple of days ago, where I showed the video of Dr. Sanjay Gupta asking our fearless leader, Dr. Fauci, about this study that showed the natural immunity was essentially better than vaccine-induced immunity. And you would think that this would be good news. Like you would think that it looks pretty promising that we have something naturally in us that actually works better than the vaccine. Like you would think that this is good news. And the guy asked Dr. Fauci, the guy who's leading us through this, by the way, what do you have to say about that? And he's like, you bring up a good point, and I don't have a firm answer for you. What do you mean you don't have a firm answer? We're 18 months into this whole pandemic. Natural immunity is 101. Natural immunity is like first semester. Natural immunity is the basics. And you're trying to tell me no one thought it'd be a good idea to see how we would naturally do with this whole pandemic? I mean, we actually went a whole year without a vaccine. So that's very strange that would be his response. Of course, he immediately did a crossover and got it back to the vaccines. And he said, pretty much, well, what the study doesn't show you is it doesn't tell you just how robust the immune response is in comparison to the vaccine response. And he's wrong. He's wrong. The vaccine response is not as robust as he's making it seem. The efficacy of this vaccine wears off much faster than what they thought. We'll see it. You'll all see it. I'll do another video on this later on. But they are misleading you. And you have to be able to think for yourself and see the truth. You have to be able to pull the truth out for yourself. So, but at the end of the day, what we do know, and so I'm gonna pull up another screen because I'm not getting on here just to talk about the problems and the issues and then pieces out, right? No, we're not doing that. So here's something else I want you all to see. And this is where we talk about empowerment. This is what we talk about things we can actually do, solutions. So while they're over there, not sure about what's going on with the vaccines and everything like that, what do we know about some basic stuff with as pertains to COVID-19, hospitalizations, and people who do the worst, and people who unfortunately die from this virus? Well, what we know, let's go down to the results. So what we know, people who are hospitalized for COVID-19, 94.9% of them had one underlying medical condition. So essential hypertension, disorder of the lipids, which is pretty much high cholesterol, obesity were the most common. The strongest risk factor for death were obesity and anxiety, which is interesting, but it can largely be explained by understanding the how anxiety really pulls on the minerals in our body. I was talking with another doctor about that today, and we were just talking about some ideas, throwing around some ideas and protocols for people who are anxious during these times, which a lot of people are anxious, especially if you're watching mainstream media news and they're just scaring the crap out of you without any solutions. But anxiety apparently pulls on a lot of your minerals, one being magnesium, and how magnesium has a calming effect. But also magnesium is very much important as it pertains to sugar metabolism, insulin, um, and also as far as fighting off viruses. And so when we look at all this in general, this is what we want to understand. We definitely want to understand who is most at risk, who is not doing the best when it comes to hospitalizations and death. And we see that these are all essentially metabolic conditions. These are all insulin resistant conditions, with the exception of anxiety. And look at this, and fear related disorders. Look at this, anxiety and fear related disorders. And that is exactly what you're getting from the media right now. So since we understand that uh, the strongest risk factor for death is obesity, we understand that essential hypertension is lipid metabolism disorder, obesity, and then type 2 diabetes. And once again, we knew that this would be the case from the other pandemics or the other outbreaks, such as in 2009 and 2002. We knew this would be the case. We should have prepared for this. We should have already known what to do. And so my suggestion, my recommendation is for you to pull yourself out of these categories if you find yourself falling in this category. If you find yourself falling into the category of obesity, if you find yourself being a diabetic or pre-diabetic, if you find yourself having high blood pressure, if you find yourself dealing with anxiety and fear-related disorders, depression, one, anxiety, depression, you need to seek help. You have to seek help. You have to speak with a professional therapist to help you work through that. I definitely recommend that. Okay. As far as the other insulin resistant conditions, you have to focus on the basics. Okay. Just throwing on a mask and getting the vaccine is not going to save you. And I've been saying that since last February. Throwing on a mask, washing your hands, getting the vaccine is not going to save you. I've been saying this even with medications. You think blood pressure medications are going to save you? You think diabetes medications are going to save you? You think the cholesterol medications will save you? The only thing that's been proven to save these people with these conditions have been improvements in their lifestyle. That is the only thing. And we know that to be true. So since that is true with the medications, we're going to see that it's true with the vaccines as well. You might as well go ahead and accept the fact, accept the reality that you have to save yourself. Don't wait for these folks to save you. Don't wait for them to come up with some new concoction and force it on you. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Here are my recommendations. And, you can find my recommendations on my YouTube, H-BAMN.com. We sell supplements. We sell vitamin D. We sell blood sugar supplements. I have a book called Done with Diabetes. We have plenty of resources. But best start is going to go through my YouTube channel and my website, hbamn.com, HBAMN.com. But you got to focus on the basics. Please drink water. If you're drinking soda or juice, you're doing yourself a great disservice. Cut out the soda and juice and go all in on drinking water. Next, exercise. You can't just work, go home, sit on the couch, go to sleep, get up, work, go home, sit on the couch, go to sleep. Your body is designed to move. And if you're not moving, you're not giving your heart the workout that it needs. You're not giving you're not getting your blood circulating the way you need to get it circulating. I recommend that you're at least walking vigorously throughout the day, whether that be around the parking lot at your office, whether that be around your neighborhood, whether that be up and down the stairs at your office, but you have to move. Now, of course, the more you can do, if you're talking about jump ropes, jumping jacks, or a full-blown workout at the gym, the more you can do, the better. But at the bare minimum, you need to be at least walking every single day, please. Okay? Please. Don't just sit down and not do anything. Don't wait for a gym membership. Don't wait for a workout plan. At the base, at the end of the day, the most basic thing you should be doing is walking vigorously, speed walking every single day. All right. So we talk about water, we talk about exercise. Next, whole foods. Cut out the processed foods. The processed foods are deteriorating. It's taking your health away from you. It's decreasing your health. There's nothing beneficial about processed foods. The Twinkies, the donuts, the Krispy Kreme donuts that they're giving you free donuts for getting a vaccine. The McDonald's, the Popeyes chicken, shout out Popeyes chicken. Um, the Hungry Man, the microwavable food, like all of these things are making you more insulin resistant. These things are making you more obese. These things are making your blood pressure go up. These things are making you sicker. Okay, they're making you sicker. And I know we're in a time right now where, uh, a lot of us are stress eating, and I get it. You're definitely stressed out. We're having food delivered to us, and it's definitely easy now with Uber Eats and Dash. I get it. Um, and we have food, unhealthy food, widely available to us, and pretty much on demand now with these apps, and we're just becoming unhealthier and unhealthier by the day, by the month. And at some point, if you truly want to be healthy, you're going to have to push back on those foods, those processed foods. They're not serving you any good whatsoever. They're only making you sicker. And when you make yourself sicker, when you make yourself more obese, when you make your blood pressure go up, when you make your blood sugar go up, you make yourself a more friendly environment for a virus of any type, but especially this coronavirus, this COVID-19. You make your body a very friendly environment for the COVID virus to thrive. And you want to make yourself a very hostile, aggressively, extremely hostile environment for COVID-19. That's what you want. And in order to do that, you got to be eating whole foods. You got to be eating greens. You have to increase your fiber consumption. You have to be drinking water. You have to be eating fruits and vegetables. You have to be fasting. So, fasting is my gospel. I don't recommend anyone eating after the hours of 6, maybe 8, but definitely not, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's too late. Your body needs time to break down the food and repair the body. I say try to push your first meal up to noon. Try not to eat anything until noon. Of course, there's different adjustments. If you are diabetic and you have other medical conditions, then of course you need to speak with your medical provider. This is not medical advice. So that's going to be a little different for you. But we do consultations if you have any questions about those things. We also have the book Demo Diabetes. We lay out the whole entire protocol for those who are diabetic. So we have solutions for that as well. But the main idea that I push for people just in the beginning when it comes to fasting is try to have your last meal before 6. Don't go after 8, and try to go as far as you can without eating, and hopefully that gets you to around noon. Cut out snacking. Snacking is not beneficial. You don't need to snack. And then sunlight, vitamin D. You need to be outside. You need to be getting sun exposure. You need fresh air. Fresh air is incredibly important. It's always been important, but especially right now where we're wearing masks, we're spending a lot of time wearing masks. And so these things are very much important. And so you want to make sure you're getting fresh air. You want to make sure that you're sitting outside, just relaxing, getting fresh air, but also sun exposure. You want to make sure your vitamin D levels are where they need to be. I recommend that they are at 60. I know the recommendation used to be at 20, then they moved it up to 30, but I say 60 is where you need to be. We sell vitamin D supplements. So of course, if you need vitamin D, you can hit the link below. We sell vitamin D3 with K2. You can definitely check those out. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that your vitamin D is where it needs to be. Zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D we talked about. For those who have anxiety issues, once again, you need to seek, I highly recommend you seek counseling, you seek therapy, you speak with someone. Even if you're not able to get into a therapist quickly, there are online solutions for that. Those have been increasing within the last year. But even if you just speak to someone, like just even if it's a friend, you just kind of like blah, like just get it out. That can be very helpful. Of course, I recommend eventually you get to a professional therapist who can help kind of steer you through whatever issues you're having. But don't just sit in silence and suffer in silence because you're not doing yourself any good. All right. So that was it. I hope I hope this video was valuable to you. I hope it could help you out. If it was, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and let me know what you all think about this. We're in the times right now where apparently it is just fine to shame those who made the choice to be unvaccinated. And apparently there's no room for people who want to explain the fact that they have natural immunity because they were already exposed. And that's another thing. A lot of people were exposed to this virus last year when there was no vaccine, and so they have natural immunity. And so the fact that we're not talking about it, the fact that there is no space or room being made for those who have natural immunity because they were exposed to this virus, it's odd, it's strange, doesn't look right, doesn't sit right. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there. I appreciate you all. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, and I'm gonna holler at you later. All right. Remember, this is our community, our responsibility. We have what it takes. We just gotta put in the work. Love y'all. Peace.